Hey everybody, and welcome to another video of why you should buy Adam Lash. In this video, I'm going to compare the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus with the iPhone 6s Plus. So let's get started. Alright, so now let's talk about the main advantages of each phone over the other, and let's start with the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. Now the main advantage of this phone is the quality of the screen, along with its size. You get a 5.7-inch QHD versus a 5.5-inch 1080p display found on the iPhone. And this camera has a higher resolution at 16 megapixels versus the 12 megapixel camera found on the iPhone. You've got a wireless charging capability found on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. This phone can actually charge pretty fast and wirelessly as well compared to the iPhone 6s. It's got a heart rate monitor and along with an oxygen saturation sensor, and of course a faster LTE category. As for the iPhone 6s Plus, it's got a more powerful GPU and a CPU as well, but we're going to talk about that in detail. A 128 gigabyte version, which is not found on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, a faster fingerprint sensor, and a dual LED flash versus a single LED flash on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus, live photos functionality, and the main feature of this phone is its 3D touch, which we're also going to talk about soon. Let's have a quick hardware comparison between both phones, and let's start with the weight. The Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus weighs 153 grams compared to 192 grams for the iPhone 6s. So this phone is 40 grams heavier than this. Next, let's move on to the screen resolution. The Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus is 1440 by 2560 pixels, which is 518 ppi pixel density compared to 1080 by 1920 pixels, 401 ppi pixel density. Obviously, the PPI is much higher on the Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus. And then let's talk about the CPUs. The Galaxy S6 Edge Plus comes at a quad-core 1.5 gigahertz Cortex A53 and quad-core 2.1 gigahertz Cortex A57 compared to the dual-core 1.84 gigahertz processor found in the iPhone 6s. The Galaxy comes with a Mali T760 MPA GPU compared with the PowerVR GT7600, which is a 6-core graphics processor. This phone has a maximum capacity of 64 gigabytes compared to 128 gigabytes on the iPhone. As for the camera, this phone comes with a 16 megapixel camera compared to a 12 megapixel camera on the iPhone. Now, from a hardware point of view, the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus may sound much better as it has a lot of hardware features and as sensors as well. But keep in mind that software plays an important role as well. I've been using Samsung Galaxy phones for a long time, and honestly, this is my first iPhone, and I was amazed with the smoothness and overall fluidity of the iPhone compared to Android. I've come to realize that Android sometimes lags no matter what kind of specs you have, and as a matter of fact, this boils down to personal preference. Some people customize their Android. Don't forget that Android is much more customizable than iOS. However, iOS is much more convenient, or should I say much smoother to use than Android. As for the 3D touch on the iPhone, it's a pretty useful feature and I like it. It comes with an extra sensor on the screen, which is why the phone is much heavier than the Galaxy. I'll give you an example of using this feature. So for example, let's say you open your Mail app and you want to preview your mail but without clicking it. So once you click it, that's your mail, but you don't want to do that. You just want to have a quick preview. The sensor is sensitive to pressure. So you press it and that's it. You get a preview. If you hard press it more, you can read the email. It's as if you've just opened the email. It's a preview function, which is pretty useful for reading emails. You can also use it on other parts of the phone. For example, on the messages, notes. If you hard press it, you get more options. So it's a pretty nifty feature on the iPhone 6s Plus. The main feature is the Edge, of course, and I love this phone in terms of design. this phone looks much sexier than the iPhone. If you compare them both, the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus is actually a little thinner than the iPhone and much lighter. Now, the main feature of this phone is its curved display, and you can have quick access to apps and also contacts. Now, if you ask it of me, the 3D Touch is much more useful than the curved edge.